Hi everyone, I have got a science lesson for you today and we are going to be learning about habitats. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. There we go. So the LO for today is to sort animals and plants into their most suitable habitat. So what is a habitat? Can anyone tell me what is a habitat? That's right. So a habitat is a home for plants and animals. And every animal and every plant has its own habitat. So if we have a look below, we can see that we've got a number of different habitats. We've got a field, a forest, a desert, the seaside, and the Arctic. And these are all habitats. And I've got another new word for you today, the word environment. Can anyone tell me what is an environment? Again, that's right. An environment is the surroundings of a habitat. So on the left, we've got some animals and it says where they like to live. So it says polar bears like to live in cold places. So we put that into a sentence using the word environment. We can say that polar bears like a cold environment. Camels, it says, like to live in hot and dry places. So if we put that into a sentence, we can say that camels like a hot and dry environment. Owls like a woodland environment because they like to live in trees. Crabs like to live by the water, so we can say that crabs like a sandy or a rocky environment. Cows like to live in a grassy area, so we can say that cows like a grassy environment. So well done, guys, you've learned a new word. So can you match the animal to its most suitable habitat? So on the left, we have got camels, and it says camels like to live in a hot and dry place. So they like a hot and dry environment. So which habitat has a hot and dry environment? That's right. Camels live in the desert. So a camel's habitat is the desert. Cows like to live in a grassy area. So which habitat has a grassy environment? That's right, a field. So a cow's habitat is a field. Crabs like to live by water. So we can say that a crab's habitat is the seaside. Owls like to live in trees. So owls like a woodland environment. So what would their habitat be? That's right, owls' habitat is a forest. And finally, polar bears like a cold environment. So a polar bear's habitat would be the Arctic. Well done, guys. Very good. So now it's your turn. So what you need for this activity, you need the sheets that hopefully an adult has printed out for you, and you need a pair of scissors. So maybe stop this video now if you need to get either of those things and then start it again. So what you're going to do is you are going to cut out your different habitats. So we've got the sea, we've got a field, a pond, and a forest. And you're going to cut these habitats out and you're going to make 4 different habitat groups. And then you're going to turn to your animals here and you're going to cut each one out. And then you are going to put it in the most suitable habitat group. So I am going to do the first few for you. So here you can see that I have cut out my habitats, and I've got my first 3 animals and fish here, down here, ready to sort into the right group. So the first one says a freshwater fish. Now, do any of you know, what does a freshwater fish mean? What does freshwater mean? That's right. So freshwater means that it isn't salty water. So because it's not salty water, we know that the freshwater fish is going to live in a pond rather than the sea, because the sea is very salty water. And next we've got a goose, and a goose has webbed feet, so we know that it lives near water. And again, we know because we've seen geese in the park, haven't we? So we know that geese also live in ponds. So we're going to put the goose up there in the pond as well. And finally, we've got an otter. Now, otters tend to live in rivers, and we do get sea otters that live in seas, but these are normal otters. So again, these would live in fresh water. So we will also put the otter in the pond. Okay, so now it's your turn. There's lots more to do. So stop the video and cut the rest out and put them into groups. Good luck. So finally, when you've done that, I just want you to pat yourself on the back, because it's been a really good lesson and you've learned a lot today. So what have you learned? So you can now say, you know what a habitat is. I know what a habitat is. A habitat is where a plant or an animal lives. You can also use the word environment to describe habitat. So you can talk about a hot or a cold or a dry environment. So give yourself a pat on the back and another tick. And finally, if you've done the task, you can also give yourself a pat on the back, because you've been able to choose a suitable habitat for some of those animals and plants. So you've learned lots today. Well done. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen now, if I can work out how to do it. And I am going to end the video. So see you again soon. Bye bye.